a brilliant scientist found himself trapped. Standing before him, a cold-blooded killer offered two choices: drink a glass of water or swallow poison. To most people, the decision would be obvious. They'd grab the water without hesitation. But the scientist? He didn't panic. Calmly, he asked just one question. What's the dosage of each? The killer was stunned. He hadn't expected that. It was a curveball, a question that flipped the situation on its head. You see, centuries ago, Paracelsus, considered the father of toxicology, made a statement that changed science forever. All things are poison, and nothing is without poison. Only the dose makes a thing not a poison. In simpler terms, anything can be toxic. What matters isn't the substance itself, but how much of it you're exposed to. Take in too much of even the most essential elements, and your body can shut down. On the flip side, a lethal poison, used in minuscule amounts, might actually heal. To grasp this paradox, let's explore a few real-world examples. We'll start with some of the most potent toxins known to humanity. Botulinum, the deadliest poison known. Meet botulinum toxin, often cited as the most lethal substance on Earth. It's produced by the bacterium Clostridium botulinum, which thrives in oxygen-free environments, like sealed, spoiled canned food. Ingest just 60 micrograms, an amount so tiny it's barely visible, and an adult can die. Inhaled or injected, the toxin becomes hundreds of times more deadly. Within 24 hours, botulinum begins to paralyze your nervous system, shutting down muscles, starting with the ones you use to breathe. Victims suffocate in silence, and yet, in tiny, controlled doses, this same toxin becomes medicine. Injected in trace amounts, botulinum can treat conditions like eye spasms, excessive sweating, and certain nervous disorders. It even smooths facial wrinkles. Under the name Botox, it's become a billion-dollar cosmetic treatment. So how can something that kills in micrograms also make people look younger? It all comes down to dosage. The difference between a remedy and a deadly toxin is often just a decimal point. Paracetamol, the silent destroyer. Paracetamol, also known as acetaminophen, is one of the most widely used over-the-counter drugs. Most households have it. It brings down fevers, eases pain, and seems completely harmless, until you take too much. Inside the body, about 4% of paracetamol is converted into a byproduct called NAPQI, a toxic compound that attacks the liver. Normally, your liver neutralizes NAPQI efficiently, but when the dose is too high, the liver can't keep up. Excess NAPQI starts destroying liver cells. Downing 26 tablets, something that could easily happen by accident, can trigger acute liver failure. The result? A slow, excruciating death over the course of a week. Again, a medication designed to heal becomes a poison when the dose crosses a line. Oxygen, the element of life and death. Imagine an astronaut landing on a distant planet. Atmospheric scans show no dangerous chemicals, normal pressure, and an oxygen level of 70%. Should they remove their helmet and enjoy the fresh air? Absolutely not. Oxygen, while essential for life, is also a highly reactive molecule. It oxidizes, burns, anything it touches. That's why it causes metals to rust and fruits to rot. Our bodies produce antioxidants like glutathione to keep oxygen in check. But these defenses evolved for Earth's atmosphere, which contains about 21% oxygen. Once concentrations exceed 50%, the system breaks down. High oxygen levels start to corrode from within, damaging blood cells, dissolving membranes, and producing hydrogen peroxide inside the body. Victims experience seizures, blindness, and eventually suffocation. Too much of even the air we breathe can be lethal. Water, the most innocent killer. Everyone knows water is vital. We're told to drink plenty every day. But can water kill you? Yes. When someone is severely dehydrated, say, from diarrhea, drinking water is essential. But not just any water. It needs to replace lost electrolytes. especially sodium. If you only drink pure water during dehydration, the sodium in your bloodstream becomes diluted. Your blood loses balance. Water begins to seep into cells, which start to swell like balloons. Brain cells are especially vulnerable. As they swell, they press against nerves and blood vessels, disrupting neural signals. Headaches, confusion, and nausea follow. In extreme cases, the brain herniates, pushed down into the base of the skull, cutting off blood flow. Death is inevitable. Just 6 liters of water, consumed in a short span, can be fatal. In 2007, a woman in the US died during a radio contest called Hold Your Wii for a Wii. She drank 7.5 liters of water trying to win a gaming console. The prize cost her her life. Salt, vital in small doses, deadly in excess. If water kills by dilution, salt does the opposite. Sodium is essential for nerve and muscle function, but too much salt floods the bloodstream with sodium, pulling water out of cells in an effort to balance concentrations. Cells shrink, brain cells crumple, the pressure tears blood vessels in the brain. A mere 50 grams of salt can be fatal for an adult. Death by salt overdose is rare, but emergency hospitalizations from excessive salt consumption aren't. Many cases involve children whose parents accidentally gave them food that was far too salty. Again, it's not just the substance, it's the amount. Caffeine. From morning boost to fatal dose, caffeine is part of most people's daily routine. Coffee, energy drinks, soda, it's everywhere. But caffeine is a stimulant. It pushes the nervous system into high gear. Taken in high doses, it doesn't just energize, it overwhelms. Excessive caffeine can lead to seizures, hallucinations, and heart failure. The estimated lethal dose? About 10 grams, or roughly 80 cups of coffee. But people don't die from drinking coffee. They die from caffeine powder or pills. These are ultra-concentrated forms where one scoop could contain a deadly amount. One mistake, and you've brewed yourself a tasteless, odorless poison that shuts down your body in hours. The lesson? It's all about the dose. All these examples lead us to a simple truth. Dosage is everything. We tend to label substances as either safe or dangerous. Arsenic, cyanide, formaldehyde, dangerous, no matter the amount. Protein, calcium, vitamins, safe, no matter how much. But that thinking is flawed. Yes, trace amounts of arsenic are toxic. But what about overdosing on vitamins? In today's world, we have access to concentrated nutrients, supplements, enriched foods, fortified drinks. We take calcium pills, zinc tablets, vitamin D megadoses, all with good intentions. But these concentrated forms can push your body beyond its natural limits. Where ancient humans stopped eating when full, modern humans can easily consume nutrient overdoses without realizing it. You might not die from eating too much vitamin A or iron in one sitting, but over time, chronic toxicity can damage organs, impair function, and lead to life-threatening conditions. Even common health advice, like warnings against too much sugar, sodium, or fat, is often another way of saying, you're poisoning yourself, slowly. So how do we stay safe? It's not realistic to expect everyone to study chemistry. Most of us won't memorize the toxic thresholds of every nutrient or ingredient. Still, there are practical steps you can take. 1. Read the nutrition labels. They often list the daily percentage of each nutrient. If a serving provides 20% of your daily allowance of a certain element, eating 5 servings puts you at 100%. Any more, and you might be in the danger zone. 2. Follow dosage instructions. Medications and supplements usually include precise guidelines. Ignoring these can be dangerous, even if the product is labeled natural or healthy. 3. Educate yourself. Health articles, science shows, and medical guides can help you understand how your body works and what it needs. But let's be honest, you probably won't do all of that. Most people don't. It's complicated, it's tedious, and who can remember all those numbers? So here's a simpler rule to live by. Don't overdo anything. Don't eat too much. Don't drink too much. Don't inhale too much. Balance is your best protection. When it comes to what we put into our bodies, moderation isn't just smart, it could be the difference between life and death. Because in the end, the line between cure and poison is thinner than we think. It's not about what you take. It's about how much.